Alright, Middle-Aged White Guy Reacts back again today with another video for you. This is the first video of 2022, and in today's video, we're talking about the Cleveland Browns. Alright? I didn't want this to be the first video of 2022. I didn't want to start off the new year this way, but I just gotta do this, alright? I gotta get this off my chest. And I realize that 99.99% of my subscribers have no interest in this whatsoever. This video will probably get like less than 100 views probably. I have no audience for Cleveland Browns content. I've made one Browns video back when Baker Mayfield first confirmed that he had a fractured humerus. I wanted to sprinkle in some Browns content this year. It just didn't work out. Wanted to live stream some games. I had a reaction to the end of a game that ended up not recording correctly. So it's like I tried to do some Browns content this year. Didn't work out. So I don't really have the audience. Haven't really done much to build it. But here we are. And we're going to talk about the Cleveland Browns and the state of the team. Okay, this is the state of the Cleveland freaking Browns. Now, we went from 11-5 last season and winning an away playoff game against the Steelers to 7-10 this year and missing out on the playoffs. And we're losing next week to Cincinnati, just so you guys know. If you haven't figured it out, we are definitely losing that game. And as soon as Cincinnati actually clinched against the Chiefs on Sunday, I knew we were losing this game on Monday night as well. Anyway, let's get into what the hell happened this season. How do you go from 11-5 and having a quarterback who was probably a top 10 quarterback last year to 7-10 with a bottom 30 quarterback this season? Now, the injury probably did not help anything, okay? But I think a big culprit this year was the offense as a whole. The injuries that it sustained all season long, and the play calling. Now, was the play calling affected because Stefanski was trying to protect an injured Baker Mayfield? I would hope not, because if that's the case, he shouldn't have been playing. All right, you have a capable backup. You know, yeah, he has a weak arm. He's not really that great, but he was serviceable. You could have rolled with Keenum for a while. And honestly, if we would have went with Keenum for, 6 to 8 weeks while Baker healed, and we still ended the season 7-10, we're not panicking as a fan base. We're like, okay, well, this was with our backup quarterback. Baker was out all year. Next year, Baker's going to be healthy, and away we go again. But that's not the case, okay, because Baker played all year. So we are 7-10 with our franchise quarterback, supposed franchise quarterback. And I am not going to make any excuses for his abysmal play, especially down the stretch. He's been awful. But I think I know what happened, what the hell happened this year, offensively. And I want to talk about what's been going on for the past couple of weeks. I think it would have been going on, I think it started about a month ago, and I have receipts to show you. Okay, yes, we got them up. Okay, so I have my videos up that I want to show you. Anyway, so let's get into what happened this year with the Cleveland Browns. Last year, let's not even get into last year yet. We're going to. But this season, we ran the ball a lot, which is good. We have 2 beast running backs, and we had a very good third running back. So run the hell out of the ball. The beginning half of the season was great. We've gotten away from that the second half of the season, specifically the past almost month. But we ran the ball a lot. Great. We did last year as well. The difference was the passing game this year operated like right around the line of scrimmage all season. Okay, we lived in a 5 to 15 yard area past the line of scrimmage in the passing game all season long. In the NFL, you can't do that. You cannot live that way in the NFL. Whether that was Stefanski just being conservative, or whether that was him protecting his injured quarterback, I don't know. Either option sucks. Okay. Did he think he was the smartest man in the room? And since he thought, like, hey, we were hitting all sorts of deep passes last year, they're going to expect that. I don't know. But for some reason, the deep passing game wasn't there. The play actions were essentially non-existent, and there was no slants. Okay, the most basic route in the NFL is the slant route at any level of football, essentially, and it's one of the most important ones. Okay, because slants will get you 5, 6, 7, 8 yards on average. Okay, they're really short, quick, so it allows your quarterback to get the ball out of his hand quick, and so he doesn't take an extra shot that he doesn't need to, and it gets you a chunk play. 5, 6, 7 yards, sets you up in manageable down and distance situations. Now, every now and again, you call a slant play, and you're going to have man coverage on the outside. The DBs will be playing an outside technique. You might have one safety over the top who happens to be shading towards the other side of the field. In that case, you hit your slant. Hopefully your receiver's fast enough to get a step on the DB who's playing an outside leverage. And the safety maybe not able to recover in time to get back onto the other half of the field. When that happens, that's when you see a 5-yard slant go 80 yards to the house. Okay. So that was just completely lacking from our offense this year. Our offensive route running consisted of curls, comebacks, ins, outs, drags. Okay, that's it. That was our offensive philosophy all year. And the comebacks would be ran between 10 and 15 yards. Everything else was like around the line of scrimmage, 5 yards, 10 yards maybe. Play action was non-existent this year. If we did do play action, we rolled right and set up tight end screens most of the time, or a running back screen, which is good every now and again. You need to mix in the screens to help with the blitz. But that's all we did all year. Roll right, 5-yard out maybe to a receiver out the sideline, or maybe a comeback every now and again. But a majority of the time, it just seemed like, hey, tight end, act like you're going to, help chip this defensive end and then squeak out for a screen. And that was our play action all year. No downfield passing. Essentially none. Like this year, there's just... And Baker Mayfield, when healthy, has one of the biggest arms in the NFL. One of the better, more accurate deep ball passers in the NFL, according to the stats the last 3 years. You could disagree with that all you want, but statistically, it's the truth. So, where did it go? Was Stefanski trying to protect his quarterback? And if so, why the hell was he playing? I thought he should have been shut down as soon as it came out that he had a broken humerus, and the fact that they didn't was messed up. And then you coupled that by maybe handcuffing your offense, or maybe that's just the offense you decided to run this year. Like I said, either one sucks. Let me show you what was missing. Okay, I'm not going to show you the slants. I mean, you get the concept. But on the Browns highlights from last year, the NFL's, Browns 2020 highlights, the very first 3 plays are all play action plays that we essentially did not see this year. All 3 are essentially over 20 yards. So when you get the ball deep like that, 20 plus yards, what that does is it gets the defense playing on their heels, which opens up bigger lanes for the running game, which opens up room in the zones for your receivers running those drags and those ins and those outs and those curls and there's the comebacks. It opens everything up. Even if you do not complete these passes, it opens up the entire freaking offense. With our running game and with Baker Mayfield and with the receivers we had at the beginning of the year, we should have been running the ball down teams' throats and play action and going deep. That should have been it. Mix in a screen, mix in some 5-10 yard curls every now and again. Obviously, it's a bit hyperbolic. A majority of your passing game has to operate within 5 to 10 yards. So I understand that. But this team should have been taking at least 5 deep shots off of play action every game. 3 to 5. Even if you didn't complete them, that would have done wonders for everyone else on the offense, running, passing, everything. Let me show you the play action, what it looked like last year. Let me, hold on. Let me get these in. Let me let you guys see what I'm looking at. Okay, there we go. So, this first play.
Browns open up from the 25. Mayfield flushed out of the pocket. On the move, tosses down.
Okay, let's go back and look at that one more time. The audio was screwy. All right, play action, and he drops straight back. So this is like a 5 to 7 step drop. He is in the pocket, but he did do play action, which was freezing the linebackers, the secondary, you know, the rush from the defensive line even, you know, gives them to hesitate a second. So you did the play action, and you're dropping back into a typical pocket, okay? So now you're still in the pocket. You're reading passing lanes, reading the defense, trying to get the ball out. This play breaks down a little bit. He starts to get some pressure and rolls to his right.
From the 25, Mayfield flushed out of the pocket.
And then line of scrimmage is 25, so this goes 35 and 44. So that's a 19-yard pass in the air.
Tosses downfield, and it's hauled in.
Okay, so that was missing all year. The play action dropping straight into the pocket was pretty much non-existent. This one we saw a lot, but the routes were much different, okay? We saw the play action rolling to the right, okay? So when you roll to one side or the other, you're trying to get your quarterback out of the pocket, preferably with clear lanes ahead of him, let him be able to set up and step into his throw, okay? And this is what happens on this play.
Going to have to make a decision on him on his 5th-year option as well.
Play action, roll to the right, able to throw, clear throwing lane, and it's a 20-something yard strike. Okay, great. So that wasn't there this year. But more importantly than this play is the next play I'm going to show you. Okay, because this just did not happen all season. And again, I don't know if this was to protect Mayfield or I don't know. But when this next play now, when you didn't do this all year, that's what made the rolling to the right impossible. And I'll explain after you see it. All right, so this is going to be a play action. He's going to roll to the left.
Allowed 155 to the Chargers.
Deep pass. Touchdown.
Touchdown.
Okay. So what did we just see in those first 3 plays? We saw a drop, play action, drop back into the pocket, play action, roll right, play action, roll to the left. All passes around 20 to 20 plus yards. One's 19, 22, and whatever that one was, 40 or something. The roll to the left was just not there this year. And what happens when you don't roll to the left? It makes your play action boot to the right impossible. Because now teams are looking for the play action. Okay, teams are obviously going to be looking for the play action against the Browns because that's what where a lot of our chunk plays came from in 2020. But by always rolling to the right, you essentially made it so that teams could overload the left side of their defense, the right side of our offense, and basically Baker would be rolling into pressure. You had big guys who were unblocked, coming up, hands up. Now he can't see. Now he doesn't have a lane to throw, and it stifled that aspect of our offense. Now, teams were expecting play action from us, and that's great, because if we were running the ball well, and if we were able to play action to the right, to the left, and down the middle in the pocket, we still would have been able to do play action, okay? Because now the teams cannot overload one side or the other. So you're not guaranteed to be rolling into pressure. And if you play action into the pocket, now you still have the pocket in front of you, and it's just a normal pass play at that point. But in theory, when you do that, you get a little bit of separation in your routes from your receivers, and hopefully find somebody open and make a big play. So by not rolling to the left all year, we essentially hamstrung ourselves offensively. By not going down the field, we hamstrung ourselves. Our running game was effective, but it could have been even more so, because we were running against stacked boxes almost all year long. And the fact that Nick Chubb still averaged over 5 a carry, I think he's still over 5 a carry. He might be getting close to like 4.9, but I think he was at like 5.3 last I looked. So he still ran the ball effectively. If you would have been incorporating these deep 20-plus yard strikes down the field all season long, if you were booting to the right and to the left, everything else would have been opened up, and we would have saw an offense maybe not as potent as last season's due to the injuries that we had, but hell of a lot better than what we saw this year. Okay. Now I want to talk about what happened this past month. Now, let me bring me up. So, the last couple of weeks, the play calling has been very odd against teams who were not good at stopping the run. All of a sudden, Kevin Stefanski says, you know what? Let's go spread offense. Nobody in the backfield besides our quarterback. Let's leave our 5 offensive linemen on an island and see if Baker can win it. Okay? I mean, great. Okay, but you're not really doing him favors. All right, well, let's stop. Let's get into this. Okay? So, Baker made a comment after the Ravens game, and I think that pissed Stefanski off. I think that showed a very petty side of him and a very insecure side of him. And I'll show you what was said. And then maybe the play calling the last couple of weeks will make sense, because I know a lot of Browns fans, even national media, are like, what the hell? Why aren't you running the ball? Both games, you're in both games, okay? You're not far enough down to abandon the run. And you could say that running the ball, in the right times would have won you the Packers game. And who knows, it might have been a different game last night as well. But now, all of a sudden, now we're spreading the ball. After playing 3 tight end sets and staying within 5 to 15 yards all season long, now all of a sudden, when our offensive line is all banged to hell, our quarterback's injured to hell, we have a running back out, we traded Odell Beckham, and we have an injured Landry playing, and an Anthony Schwartz who can't find his ass from a hole in the ground. Apparently, couldn't even get on the field. It's like now you're going to spread the ball out and you're going to just whip it around everywhere. Okay. So let me show you what Baker said, and then the last couple of weeks is going to make a lot of sense to you. Let's get rid of you. Let's bring you up. Okay, and let me go to... Nope. Sorry about that. Wrong scene. Okay, so here we go. The question is something about, like, how do you think the offense performed, or what do you think of the game, or something like that. I don't know exactly what the question was, but here's Baker's response. Oop.
We did enough to win the game. So that's, check that box off. But got conservative. I think we need to, put that team away. We got...
Catch that? Listen, one more time.
Box off, but got conservative. I think we need to, put that team away. We got ahead early. Just need to capitalize when the defense is playing like that.
We got conservative. Okay, we need to put that team away. We got up big early. That's a direct... We're done with that one. That is a direct criticism of Kevin Stefanski. And he did this constantly last season. It was just fortunate for him that our offense was just so damn good that we had such big leads that it didn't matter. He let the Cowboys get back into a game. He let the Titans get back into the game. He let the Colts get back into a game that we were up big. He let the Steelers... Well, the Steelers got back. He wasn't coaching against the Steelers in the playoffs, I guess. That's still his game plan, though, and that's his philosophy. So I'm going to blame that on him. He let the Steelers get back into the playoff game last year. All games that we were up huge, and we just took our foot off the gas for the second half and just tried to coast it out to a victory. Fortunately for him, it worked last year. This year, didn't work as well, okay? So we ended up winning this game, but yeah, like Baker said, we got up big, we went conservative, and we let them get back into the game and make a game out of it at the end. To me, that shows a very petty and insecure side of Kevin Stefanski, because he's like, how dare you criticize me, Baker? Okay, so after this game, we were 7-6. We We're playing the Raiders next week, which is the following week, which was a very winnable game for us. If we would have won that game, we would have been 4th in the AFC seeding for the playoffs. So we would have been in control of our own destiny, and we probably wouldn't be making this video right now because things would have went completely different way, and I'd be a very happy camper right now. Okay, because we'd probably be looking at playoffs, but COVID hit. 20 of our players were out for that game, including Baker, including Case Keenum, our backup quarterback, and we're down to our 3rd quarterback. All of our receivers were down, half of our line, our secondary. I mean, like, we were missing players everywhere, important players, and a lot of them. So that made that game almost impossible to win. And we didn't win it. We almost won it. Probably should have won it, but we got conservative at the end and ran it on 3rd and 3, didn't pick up a first down, when like a little play action dump to the tight end that we've been doing all season would have been fantastic in that situation. But we didn't do that. Anyway, so we lose that Raiders game, okay? So the Ravens game, we played that kind of conservative offense. The Raiders game, by necessity, because of everybody that was out, we played that offense as well. But the Packers and the Steelers, we just played a different style of offense that we've been playing all season long. And why? Why? Well, because he wanted to show Baker Mayfield that, you know, how dare you question me? You're not as good as you think you are. I'm going to put the rock in your hand and you go win us these football games. The issue is you still have to set up the passing game. You still have to run the ball. You still have to play situational football. All right, by saying, you know, we got conservative, it just means you buttoned up the offense. Okay, you could have still ran the football as much as we've been all season these last couple of weeks, but just taking a couple of deep shots. That's all Baker's saying, man. Just let me throw it deep a few times a game, not spread the fucking field. Don't give me any protection when I have undrafted free agent rookies blocking for me against the best defenders in the fucking league. And, you know, like, so to me, Stefanski did this to scapegoat Baker. All right. To show Jimmy Haslam, Andrew Berry that, you know, hey, this wasn't my fault this year. I couldn't run the offense I wanted to because I didn't trust my quarterback, who lit it up last year. Got us our first playoff win in, 30 years. You know, so to me, it was just kind of to show Baker that don't fuck with me, and to set up a scapegoat so he could buy himself at least next season. Because if this happens next season with a different quarterback, Stefanski, you're out on your ass, man. You're just buying yourself 16 more games, 17 more games. That's it. So yeah, if he's not going to be willing to open up an offense, we're going to look exactly like this next season. And the fact that we even have 7 wins at this point with that play calling and the injuries we had is a miracle in itself. But, you know, it is what it is. I like Stefanski. I really liked him last year, especially. This year I defended him, but the further it got into the season, it's like, what's going on? And I like Baker. I'm not going to defend his play down the stretch, okay? He did not have it this year. Did not have it. Whether that was due to his injury, which, yes, had to affect him because although the humerus is healed by now, that labrum doesn't heal itself. It needs surgically repaired. It's going to be uncomfortable. He's wearing a sling that limits his mobility, which affects your throwing accuracy. Any quarterback who's worn shoulder braces like that just has not performed well, and he wore one all season long. So, you know, I mean, I guess maybe I did make a little bit of an excuse for him there, but at the end of the day, if you're playing the game, I expect you to perform. And if you can't perform, you shouldn't be playing the game. And Baker, I'm sorry, no player who is competitive, who actually loves the game, will admit when they are too hurt to play. Okay? If they can move, if they can walk, if they can run, if they can throw a little bit, they're going to be like, no, I'm good. I'm good. It's the training staff and the coach who has to tell the 24, 25-year-old kid that, hey, buddy, you're injured. We need you to sit down for a little while and heal up, okay? They didn't do that. So you could blame Baker for, you know, a lot of fans are like, oh, he's so selfish because he wanted to play. It's like, no, he's competitive. That's why he wanted to play. The people who don't understand that never played a sport in their life competitively outside of, you know, dodgeball and gym class. I don't care how injured I was. If I could run, walk, jump, I wanted to play. You know, it would take the coach saying, no, you're too hurt. Or it would take, you know, my freshman year of football, I broke an ankle right before the first game. I had a cast on. Obviously, I couldn't play football that year. So, you know, if you're competitive, you're going to play as long as you can perform somewhat athletically, even if you have to play through a lot of pain and discomfort. So I don't blame Baker for that. I blame Stefanski for allowing him to play like that, especially when it seems like it has affected the way he called an offense. And if it didn't affect the way he called an offense and he just decided to call his offense like that, what the hell were you doing all year, man? Insane. Insanity to think you can run an offense like that in the NFL and win fucking football games. It just doesn't happen. Not consistently. And that's why we were inconsistent this year. So there you have it. I think that'll be the video. Why the Browns, or the state of the Browns, is we sucked offensively because of play calling and an injured quarterback who shouldn't have been playing, who had the worst season of his career. And I don't see things going the other way next year. Okay. Especially if, like I suspect, Stefanski just did Baker dirty like he did because he was upset about a comment he made after the Ravens game. Okay. That's petty. That's insecure. Okay. And it's unbecoming of a head coach in the NFL. Okay. Deal with it. Your player says, hey, we got conservative. We shouldn't have. Bring him in and be like, hey, man, don't say that to the media. We could talk about that in the film study or whatever, you know, we can in team meetings. But that's, you know, that's not how he handled it. Instead, he said, okay, motherfucker. Okay, you think I'm too conservative? Well, let me open it up without giving you any protection or any line in front of you. And let's see if you could survive the next couple of weeks. And he didn't. And that's probably going to cost Baker his career with the Browns. And I'm sorry, if they move on from this guy, I'm going to have a really hard time. Watching them next year. And I'm going to because I'm a Browns fan and I've been doing it for fucking ever. Even though it just causes me anger and pain. But apparently I like it. So, I don't know. That'll do it though. That'll be the video. That's the state of the Cleveland Browns. We're a fucking mess. And depending on how this offseason goes, don't know if it gets any better next year. That'll do it, guys. Middle-aged white guy reacts is out. Peace.